Feed your brain.
Got the coordinates. It's about that time.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. You got
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Women of Wealth Show, IntellectualRadio.com. Our call-in number is 708-223-8953. We got some special guests here. We got a full house tonight. So right now, without further ado, Women of Wealth is an organization that we started to help women, empower women to get their businesses started in other organizations. This month we decided to help us personally with our credit, with our real estate, and different things like that. So right now we have a very special guest from Clubhouse, but I'm going to let Tracy Quinn, who's also part of Women of Wealth. She's the vice president of Women of Wealth. She's also the president of Pink Hats Construction. So right now, Tracy, could you go ahead and please introduce Uncle Don?
Yes. Good evening, family out there. First of all, if you all are not on Clubhouse, please download the app if you have an iPhone. Clubhouse is an app, a social app where whatever the topic is, you can just ping it, and you have people dropping jewels who are subject matter experts and just regular conversations. But to further the show, we have 3 special guests from Clubhouse under Uncle Don and the family, where we talk about business credit, personal credit, and real estate. And here we have all 3 tonight. We have Uncle Don, we have David Drain, and he's going to introduce himself. And many of you will probably know of the products and hair products that they own from California, and also Kevin Reed, aka Top Dog. So without further ado, let's introduce our main guest here tonight, which is Uncle Don.
I'm just to back up.
Uncle Don.
Hey, Uncle Don.
It's a pleasure to be here. Hoping that we can drop some value. My cup of tea is basically business credit. That's what I do. Been doing that since 1990. Learning how to give business credit, giving it value in companies at least at $2 million, which will assist you to get corporate credit, skipping through a lot of these tier 1, tier 2s, and things that hold back people, especially in the minority community. So that's my specialty as far as getting funding. My qualifications basically been working with Wall Street, with E.F. Hutton, one of the first black stockbrokers, working at Santa Monica Bank for over 11 years. Also Lear Financial in Santa Monica, selling gold. So have an MBA at the University of Nebraska. So again, my humble thing is to get all people of melanated out there to get business credit so we can get that bag. And that's what we need to do.
All righty. And next we have David Drain. David, if you can introduce yourself.
David Drain. I'm what you would call a mortgage planner. I'm out of Los Angeles, California. I do creative financing. I've done flips. I've built homes. I've rehabbed. I've assisted people who are in foreclosure, helped them avoid foreclosures. I've talked about the importance of having a trust, how you can use that trust to purchase property. And I'm also have about 30 years experience in the insurance industry. I worked as a recruiting manager for Mutual of Omaha, was with Aflac before there was even a duck, New York Life and Mass Mutual, and also IDS Services, which is now American Express Financial Services. I'm just here to see if I can assist.
And what about the hair products that we've been using for years?
Family-owned business for about 45 to 50 years. Kazuri Hair Care Products it was out of Compton. We manufactured, probably some of the audience here is too young to remember, the cake cutters, the Afro pick combs with the black fist on it, the do-rags,
curling
irons, the double stoves. We private label for Dudley Products. We actually the one that invented the word thermal texturizing when everyone was talking about press and curl. We the one that came up with the pressing pads and the thermal texturizing fingers and came up with a set of irons that you weren't a professional unless you had a set of curling irons, and that was us, Kazuri.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. And then we have Kevin Reed, Top Dog Credit. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Reed, aka Top Dog. I specialize in personal credit. I'm here to give any type of value that you guys need. I am the one to go get you the bag as far as credit cards, high limit credit cards, the house, the car, the refinancing. So I'm here just to give value.
Great. So, Uncle Don, we're going to start with you. As far as so, a lot of the guests here, with us being women of wealth and us encouraging our women in this panel of 16 women with their own businesses. Some startup companies, some have been doing their businesses for over 10, 15 years. What is the first thing that you would suggest as a new business or even an existing business in order to help our ladies to build their businesses in order to be able to scale up?
It's a great question. The first thing I would suggest is that their business structure is set up correctly in regards to the SIC code. That's the first thing that I see that's wrong. They're in a business that is already high risk. For example, a restaurant business, a trucking company, a beauty salon, a barber shop. These are businesses that are historically strong anchors in the Black community. Unfortunately, the banks have went and said that these particular businesses are high risk. And it's almost like systematic racism. All the businesses you see in the hoods around the United States where mostly melanated people live, those businesses are hardworking people. They've sent people to college in those businesses. They also pay taxes. But unfortunately, the code has listed them as high risk, which makes it very difficult for them to get funding. So I would teach my students that, hey, it's okay to have these hardworking businesses. It's okay to have the barbershop. It's okay to have the trucking company. But what you need to do is have a parent company. It needs to be set up. I like to name a business with the end, such as network, something like that. Any of the green businesses. Um, those businesses are considered low risk. So all you would have to do, and unfortunately, when a business gets started, they really don't think about funding until maybe the third or fourth year. At that time, they're already involved. They already have customers and clients, and now they realize, wow, I need more money. But now it's kind of makes my job or someone that does what I do very difficult. So the key is to have a company. Think of it as a LLC, S corp, any kind of legal entity. That business is from the beginning. Its job is to do one thing: go and get money. The second thing that's messed up is the different addresses. A lot of the businesses are home address. They need to have a business address. Your business is not like personal credit. In personal credit, they're looking at your name, they're looking at your address, they're looking at your social security number, they're looking at the income. Only 3 out of 4 of those need to be right for them to ping it to you. In the business, only thing they're looking at is the particular name and the address, and neither one of them have to be right. So therefore, and there's no federal law on the business side, so you can be denied. And the bad news is, they don't Home Depot or a Target or a Lowe's, they don't even have to tell you why they denied you. So you're working from the dark. So this is why it's so important that that structure is set up right. Your permits on everything across the board, that address is the same. The underwriter will do a Google Earth and they'll look and see that that's a UPS store or that's a PO box. It's not to say you're going to get denied, but ask yourself the question. My grandmother used to always ask me, what would Jesus do? I say to people, what would Ford do? What would Walt Disney do? Would they have a text number? Would they have a PO box? This is the kind of thing. I ended with the LLC as a melanated person allows us to do things that we can't do under our social security number. Number one, we're able to change our name. These companies have a target market. So if your name is Tyrone Jackson, you're probably not their target market. They are looking for Sal Goldsmith. The LLC allows you to change your name. Number two, your address. The address is so important. If If you live on Martin Luther King Drive, you're probably not within their target market. So if you have a business, go and try to find one of the nicer neighborhoods where you live and get an address over there. Number three, your job title. It's nothing against hardworking dock people, truck drivers, etc. But the algorithm is not looking for that. So it's very big to have a job title such as president or CEO, because that's what you are. And then lastly, your income. So you're able to control all of these things. And what I teach is with these businesses, get your personal credit, high as you can to 800, attach it to your entity, clone yourself, and go and get the bag. So if your personal account has 4 credit cards in it, now you can get 4 credit cards under your business, and you can rinse and repeat. So this is what I teach. Minority certificates go a long way. A lot of our businesses are women-owned, Black-owned, and they don't take the time to get the certificate proving that they're a minority, which would force a bigger Walmart or Target or some Cisco company to do business with you. So our paperwork has to be right. I end it with, get a business consultant before you open up your business. Get a mentor. Go to score.org. This is going to be the wealth accelerator. Number one, OPE, other people experience. Number two, OPS, other people's systems. If you can piggyback on someone that is already successful, that's going to save you 5 to 7 years of struggle. The other thing you need to have is a dream team. You need an attorney. If you're in business and you don't have a business attorney, you're going to suffer. If you're in business and you don't have a tax guy or a CPA, you're going to suffer. You need to have that. There are other things you can get, what I call the dream team, but those are the number 2. The business lawyer is the quarterback. The CPA is the tax guy. Very, very important. Hope I answered your question. I don't want to take up all the time. This is Uncle Don.
You did. No, you did.
Wait, I had one question though.
Yeah.
I needed to know, what do you mean by cloning?
Great question. Cloning meaning that if you have 4 to 6 credit cards, they do like utilization. You get punished on the personal side for applying for too many credit cards.
Right.
The business doesn't get punished. So you could have 12 credit cards in your business. So if you have an American Express under you, you can get 2 or 3 American Expresses in the business. So what it is, you have like an identical twin. You cloned yourself. How many times can you clone yourself? Unlimited. You can have as many businesses as you want.
Right.
So now you're 780 credit and you're making $7,000 a month. You're going to reach a point where the bank and them is going to say, that's all you can get. You're done. You're maxed out. You can't apply for anymore. But your business can continue to do it, and you can duplicate and clone yourself over and over to where now you have probably 7 businesses. You should have about 12 American Express cards, all piggybacking, living off the mothership, off your personal credit and that first business. Now, there's other things I'll be teaching later where you can build value between the 3 or 4 LLCs. Everyone needs 4 different entities so that we can start building value. And that's another radio show.
Okay, so four entities. So you believe that a person should have more than one stream of income, and you believe that a person should have more than one business, and just kind of let them piggyback off each other?
Correct. The only thing I think a man should have one of is one wife and one dog. But when it comes to the business, he should have as many incomes as he can, passive income preferably. Remember, the bank is the big pimp out there. Over 30% of your dollar is going to go to interest rate, either to a house, either to a car, either through furniture. 30 cents of your dollar. The other 30 cents is going to the master pimp, the government. The IRS is taking that. So that leaves you with a funky 40 cents. You got to take that 40 cents and invest it into some sort of business or real estate, get a loan on it, leverage it out, hopefully pay the master $1,000 and hopefully rent it out for $400. Now you have a $400 passive income. Rinse and repeat that to where you start getting about $10, $12, $15,000. So that's the secret formula that Pepsi, when they own, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC. Those were the work boots. Pepsi was a tuxedo. So they were able to build value between those companies. The blueprint was already in front of us. So we need to rinse and repeat and get the passive income And that's what the other gentleman here can show you how to do.
Okay, one last question. I know you said build a team. How do you build a team? That doing stuff like coming to Clubhouse and
Clubhouse definitely, it makes it a lot easier because the team is right in front of you. I was able to meet my homeboy, Dave, right here from Los Angeles, where I'm from. We know a lot of the same people, so I'm shocked we never met. I just look better. But at the end of the day, Clubhouse has connected us. I met my brother, Top Dog, Credit Plug. I've met my sisters right here, Pink Hats. So I definitely think Clubhouse is a magnet where you're able to screen people, uh, get with people in other cities, and do what other coaches have been doing for years. We're able to collaborate like we're doing now. And again, that's going to just wealth accelerate us to success. And so that's the good thing. That's the good thing I love about Clubhouse. Unfortunately, a lot of people on Clubhouse are missing the boat because they're not getting the emails, they're not getting the phone numbers, they're not getting the personal relationship, and they're listening to teachers like us as if we're Ron Isley and we're Frankie Beverly and Mays. They're not having that personal relationship offside of Clubhouse. And so they're missing the boat. That's sad. I, on the other hand, am winning. I'm gathering friendships. I'm going out of town. And everywhere I go out of town, I'm not going to see my blood relatives. I'm going to see my relatives from Clubhouse that is really getting that bag. So I'm winning.
And so let me say this. With winning, these guys here from Clubhouse came out of invitation, and they are investing in properties because guess what? I'm the developer, I'm the contractor. So I'm always going to be asking, hey, my hand is out, or how can you help? How can you help these queens out here? How can you help a female contractor like myself? They already in real estate. They already have the experience. They already buying. So why not partner with a female construction company to help scale me up? And that's what they're doing. They flew all the way from California to invest in properties out here that I can develop. We can turn into transitional homes. We also can provide affordable homes for our communities, as well as some of these high-end, $1 million homes as well. And that's what we're talking about. The Phyllis Wheatley project we were talking about, we went and looked at that. So without, like Uncle Don said, it's cool to be sitting up just listening to something and getting knowledge, just and it's going in one ear and out the other. But if you're not going out and trying to connect the dots and saying, hey, can we meet? Or, hey, can I come to your conference? Or, hey, let's set up a conference. Let's see, what can we do? What can we do to help each other? What can you do to help me, help you, help us? Besides not sharing, you know what I'm saying? Because we tend to not share information, but Clubhouse is just like this magic, and everybody's sharing their information. And not only that, but we're making money in it. So now and I thank you, Uncle Don, for that. I thank you for your platform. His platform is Uncle Don and the Family on Clubhouse. Look that up. If you are on Clubhouse, look it up. I mean, and it goes on every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 7 p.m. And I'm gonna say until they say to 11 midnight. I was up at 2:00 in the morning talking about should a husband and wife have a bank account, or should it be separate accounts or joint? So we talk about some of everything, but then they also teach us practical, applicable steps in order to change our lives. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Dave a question. And so Dave, you talked about trust. And first of all, I would like for you to explain the difference between a will and a trust, and why a trust.
The difference between a will and a trust.
we need to hear that. Push your mic all the way up there, sir.
Is this better?
Yes, it is.
The difference between a will and a trust. A will is basically telling your relatives what you wish to do. And then the judge says, okay, we're going to do that, but you still go into probate. A trust is kind of like a corporation, as Uncle Don says, and you transfer all your assets over into the trust without the tax problems. You can control your estate from the grave. So you can hide yourself, become anonymous, You can dictate where you want your assets to go, even when you've been dead 20 years. And there's consequences if the trustee breaks that agreement. There's nothing they can't do. They have to go back to what they would call in a corporation, the bylaws in your trust. They have to follow those bylaws.
Give me an example of a trust and how, if I was gone 20 years, give me an example of how it
Okay,
works.
you can say, let's say you have a piece of property and you transfer that property into the Ladies of Wealth Trust,
Women of wealth.
Women of Wealth Trust, sorry
Yes.
about that. And you decided that you don't want them to sell that property for 40 years. And you want the property to go to your great grandkids. That instruction will be placed inside the trust, and the trustee of that trust would have to follow those rules. Now, how do you make sure they follow the rules? Well, because the property's in a trust, anything that you try to do, the title company or the lawyers, it depends what state you're in, is going to see the Women of Wealth owns the property. So they're going to say, well, we need to see not Kevin Smith or Susan Brown who said this is her property, but they seen the Women of Wealth. So they're going to ask for a copy of the trust papers or the bylaws.
Who sets up? How do you set up a trust?
You get an individual, you have attorneys, you have individual companies that does it. Fortunately, I do them as well. And you determine who do you want to be your trustee, the person that you trust to carry out your wishes once you're gone. Now, if that person happens to die or become senile, you have what you call successor trustees, or something like a corporation, a vice president, who if the president messes up or get delusional, the vice president steps into the place of the president and go ahead and follow the rules. If that person messes up, then you have another successor trustee. And then from there, you have beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries would be, as I said, your great grandkids, that you plan this even though you never met them. You want to make sure that your kids didn't mess off your estate, and you made sure you passed on the wealth and created the legacy for your family by setting up a trust.
Now, a trust is better than a will.
10 times better. Let me take that back. 1,000 times better, because there's no probate, there's no courts, there's nobody that can contest it. It's all in your bylaws.
So that's how Donald Trump basically
That's what
he
everyone
owns nothing but controls everything.
Yeah, you don't want to own anything.
So,
Control is
okay.
the best thing to do.
So Uncle Don was stating it's best to have multiple businesses, and so with multiple businesses, so you mean to tell me, so you put each business under that trust, and so each LLC or each corporation is under another corporation or under another LLC, but all of those are under
The
the
same
trust.
umbrella.
There's a number of ways that you can structure it.
Mhm.
You can have one LLC,
Mhm.
which is a holding company,
Like a series.
and you can have 35 different trusts. And your LLC is the trustee of that trust.
Okay.
What Uncle Don forgot to mention to you, which I'm surprised he didn't, you got to pick the right kind of LLC that's going to benefit you in regards to tax problems and also lawsuits, because little did it be known, if you think that if you have an LLC that you're exempt from being sued, not true. And so wherever you set up your your LLC is going to determine how vulnerable you are to lawsuits if you happen to slip and you say the wrong words and you say yourself as John Doe when you should have been talking about Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. So you have to have someone that's going to mentor you. You're going to have someone to consult with to help you structure those type of programs and those entities that's going to protect your family and protect yourself. That's why they call it assets. You have to protect your assets.
Okay. All right. You got anything else you want to?
Mhm. Okay. So, yeah, I do. With that, okay, so I know we're talking about business credit and real estate and personal credit. Can a person with bad credit purchase a house?
Yeah, it's done all the time.
Okay. And myself, I am encouraging everyone to look into like tax liens and look at your land banks, your county land banks, because I can't see myself paying 1.5 million for a house retail when knowing I can go get it at, let's just say 100,000 or even 20,000 or even 5,000 and do the rehab myself and then sell it for 1.7 million. So with that, if you're interested in real estate, and not only real estate for your family, because here we always talk about generational wealth. This is the only reason why Women of Wealth is set up, is to create generational wealth for our children, for our children's children. And if you focus on, if you have the time to wait, huh? Yeah, what? No.
Oh, didn't mean to cut you off.
Please.
I remember on Clubhouse, you have a lot of people come up on stage, talks about the stock market, talk about buying gold. And a lot of blacks are chasing gold and stocks and crypto. That's the new trend right now. But you got to think about this. Have they passed any laws that you can't buy stock? People of melanated complexion? Have they passed any laws that you can't buy any gold?
No.
But it's funny how they had laws that prevent us from buying houses. It's because that's where real wealth
real
is,
assets, yeah.
is in real estate. And once you understand that, and forget all the fancy trickeries that they show on the radio and on the televisions and all the commercials and the people who come, some people who come in the Clubhouse who pitches gold, stocks, and everything else. You can get gold all day long. You can buy stock in stock scams and gold scams and crypto scams. But real estate, you can pass that on. You can take money out of your house and put your kid in college if you want to go to college. Take the money out and go buy another property, buy a fourplex, and help generate money. So you have a lot of people who bought houses and have all the equity, but they scared to do anything. And I always say, equity earns no rate of return. So what good is having equity if you can't use it? So you want to definitely be able to leverage. Don't go out and buy no jet skis. Don't go out and buy a Harley. Don't go out and take a trip. Don't go out and buy wigs. Don't go out and get fake nails and boob jobs and all the other stuff. Take the money, invest it properly, go out and buy more property, and then generate that passive income that Uncle Don was talking about. That's the only way, or one of the only ways. I'm not going to say only way, but it's one of the only ways that you're going to make money, and you don't have to have a perfect FICO score. Because I definitely do not have a perfect FICO score, and I've bought tons of properties.
Okay, so just to get this straight, what you would do is that you would actually, generational wealth really comes from real estate. You would purchase a property, then you would take the equity out of that property and then purchase another property. And that is like passive income, which will pay for itself.
Yeah,
And you didn't touch any money except for your equity out of your first place.
Yeah, because you figure, truthfully, the big mistake is, which is not, is buying a single family dwelling. Because we want to be, puff up and flex. But you want to buy a income producing property like a fourplex. So you buy a fourplex, that means you got 3 people helping you pay that note. That means you can get into a better neighborhood, a better school district. Once you've been in there, even if you go with governmental financing, which they will finance you on a fourplex like FHA, VA, you can put down as little as 3.5%, and you still got some programs that you don't have to put in anything. Then from there, once you've been there for a year and fulfill the obligation, you can move out of that property and go find another one. And now you have 4 units producing you income, or maybe 1.5 units is covering the note. So you got 2.5 people working for you right now to qualify for that new fourplex. I believe in the 4-4-4-1 concept. I buy 4 units, which means I got 12 doors, and then I go ahead and get my dream house. Now my house is being paid for by the other 12 people. And then you can start building up from there.
Okay.
So there's a ton of opportunities out there, but you definitely want to get your credit straightened out because it's going to save you on the interest rates. But if you can't wait, there's creative ways that you can, creative financing that you can get into a house.
Okay. So, okay, go ahead. I was gonna say, okay, so Kevin. So with that being said, our goal is, of course, to acquire property, acquire real estate, land for our children and our children's children. What's the best way for us to get our credit improved, or to improve our personal credit?
The first thing I would say is get somebody that a monitoring service, whether it's Credit Karma, Experian, TransUnion, or I don't know, Identity IQ. Some people don't even know their credit scores or they what's in their credit file. So um, to look at that 1st, then find somebody who knows what they're doing. That's constantly talking about credit or whatever, because it's a lot of people out here scamming. People there take your money, and next thing you know, you don't hear from them. You calling them, and it's nothing being done to their credit. So finding somebody who can help you get there.
Okay.
Not about it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the main thing.
Okay.
Everything else is I mean, it'll flow once you find somebody who know what they talking about. Like you hear Uncle Don, you know he know what he's talking about with business credit. You hear Dave what he's talking about. So you kind of get an idea like, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. And then you go through it. I mean, you ask around.
Now, if you have a thin credit, it's not like you have bad credit, but you have a thin credit file. You really don't have anything on your credit file. How do you build that up in order? Because if a thin credit file or no credit is just as bad as bad credit, correct?
And it's worse.
Okay.
People don't understand that because you can explain why is it no credit is worse than having bad credit. Well, with bad credit, I can see what you've done in the past. With no credit, I don't know what you've done. So that's what makes the difference. That's why no credit is worse than bad credit.
Okay.
But also, you got to start. I don't believe in secure credit cards. So when it comes to secure credit cards, I don't believe in those. You can do a secure loan. And the reason why I don't like secure credit cards is because it pigeonholes you into if you put 200 or $500 down. So if it's not Uncle Don, he likes to talk about Navy Federal, but if it's not Navy Federal, they won't let you graduate after 6 months. They'll try to hold your money and then tell you to go apply for another credit card. Now your $600 or $500 or $250 is tied up. I don't like that. So get a secure loan. Put $500 in there, pay on it, or you can do it in 3 different banks, 3 different lending institutions. Just make sure that they don't penalize early and that type of stuff. So, but Navy Federal is generous. It's the place to start. I can't lie, it's the place to start. They've been generous to Black people. No other company has been giving Black people 25,000, $20,000 credit cards. They haven't been doing that. So that's why you hear a lot of people on either YouTube or what's that Clubhouse talking about Navy Federal.
Can you purchase a house with a credit card?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can definitely purchase a house with a credit card.
Now I just need to go back because I know I had people asking. Last week when you came, they said you stated, the things that you have and the credit cards in which you use to get it. They wanted to know, aren't you really putting yourself in debt? One of the questions was, are you putting yourself in a deeper debt by getting all these credit cards with these high limits on it, like $25,000 or $50,000?
No. When you know how to use a credit card and you know how to invest your money, it can never be a risk. I mean, with anything a risk, it's just a calculated risk. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes sense for you. For me, it's not. For somebody else who don't know about credit, nobody don't know about business, nobody don't know about real estate, it's a big risk. For me, it's not. Once you start learning, um, it's a different field. Go ahead and
No,
spawn
I
on
just
that.
want to say a quick comment. I love the question about debt. Uh, I love debt.
Hmm.
Um, America, this great country, is in debt. The state that you live in is in debt. The county that you live in is in debt. The city that we live in is in debt. So we have to get our mind off the plantation. Being in debt is a great thing. The difference is there's good debt and bad debt. Going to
Talk of
buy,
it. Talk Uncle Don so they can hear you. Okay.
going to get these high-end purses and designer clothes and designer cars and what have you. That's not good debt. But going to get a condo, duplex, like Dave was talking about, a fourplex, um, that's good debt. So there's nothing wrong with being in debt. We have to get off the plantation. There are a lot of our people that have bought a house for 100,000. Their house is worth now 300,000. They're going to sit there and watch that 200,000 equity eventually drop right back down. They have a credit card in their wallet right now with $12,000 on it. That's not wise. That's not financial literate. That's not what the three of us are teaching. I teach them to take the $12,000 all off and go and get some tax liens. Go to an auction. Top Dog has a car company also, and get a car from him and put it on rideshare. The key is passive income, and then get your credit at 800. Let it get down to 600. That's right. Get it down to 600. Go on a shopping spree of buying assets, and then call Top Dog back up. Get it back up to 800. If you're having a glitch with some real estate, call Super Dave over here. He'll tell you how to be creative. And if you get with me, I'm gonna supercharge you with some steroids and get that business up, and then you just rinse and repeat. You have a cycle. So the whole key is not to get 800 and be. Can you say? I don't say no bad. You don't want to say. You don't want to get the 800 credit score and boast and brag and PTR with a Superman cape. My credit score is 830, and you don't make no passive income.
Right.
That's dumb. You want to get the 800 credit, attach it to these entities, and then go on a shopping spree of buying assets. The key is not the credit score. The credit score is a hammer. It's a tool.
Okay.
It is not the end game. So that's the key.
Go ahead.
You know, it's funny that he says that. The people that are listening that had that comment or that question, the people that work a job who don't have a house, what are they crying about? Oh, Uncle Sam's taking too much of my money. I got to go, quote unquote, get into debt, which is buy a house. So now you have a tax write-off. So debt is not bad. Debt is good. Because why do people buy houses? Because the majority of people don't own houses. Technically, they're homeless. They just a fancier word that they renting an apartment, but you're helping that landlord pay off his debt.
Right. I
So-
calculated. I paid over $3.5 million in rent in over 20 years working and traveling all across as a travel nurse. 3.5 million in rent alone. And so
There's your house.
man,
There's your house.
on what?
Mhm.
So with that, that's why I really appreciate you guys coming in, breaking it down on the simplest terms, because it is our time. Like they're giving away money, they're giving away so much money out here, and people, if you're getting these grants and these PPPs and all of this money that they're giving out, be wise, be smart with the monies that they're giving, because we're spending, yeah, we're starting business, but then we also have to learn how to leverage our business. Uncle on Clubhouse, Uncle Don invited a guy, ML Billion, and he said he has over 160 businesses. He purchases businesses, and it's only for credit purposes only. He don't care what the business does. He don't care if they rolling donuts or if it's a motorcycle company, whatever. He purchases the companies, your shelf corps, some of your shelf corps that are just sitting, age corps. He purchases those in order to leverage them for credit, and only credit purposes only. So with that, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you all have the the high-end credit cards. If you have the 800 credit scores, inbox me. Let's show you how to build your credit. Let's show us how you leverage that credit score. If you want some properties, call us. Let us build. Let us develop. Let's get some tax liens. And inbox us.
Okay, everybody get their information. We got like maybe 3 minutes left. So we're going to start right here. Tracy, please let us know how we can get in contact with you.
Yes, Tracy Quinn. Just type in Tracy 10K, TRACI, the number 10K.com, or Pink Hats Construction and Development Group. You can look that up on Instagram. But if you put in Tracy 10K, it'll link you to all of my, from LinkedIn, Instagram, all of my social media and my websites.
And let them know we are MBE because I have a construction company as well.
My sister is Fairman Construction, so we partner together. Anytime I need paperwork that's showing that we have an MBE, my sister comes in. We have our other sister is a veteran, so we are triple minority. We are triple threat, boo. So yes, that's how you get in contact with me, Don.
Yes, triple threat. I love it. You can contact me with Uncle Don, 10K.com. Uncle Don 10K. You'll see there my phone number, my text. I'm going to be teaching a class monthly. It's $199 a month. It's going to be the first Tuesday of October as well as the third Tuesday. Information will be out. It's $199 a month. I'm going to be teaching you how to get the bag the correct way, not the YouTube way. More importantly, how to build value to your company and how to be fundable when you go and speak to these underwriters, because I've worked at the bank. I understand the problems that melanated people are having. And like I said, I'm going to be dropping some gems. So you can reach me at UncleDon10K.com. My phone number is there as well as my email. You can reach me and let's go and get that bag legally.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook under Cracking the Code, REI Cracking the Code. That information, I don't have all of it yet because they're setting it up now. And if you want to go on Clubhouse, you can see me under Dave D at The Hunted or on the site called Mr. Miyagi's Real Estate.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are you?
Everywhere. You can find me on Uncle Don's in his clubhouse. I'm always there. But if you're on Clubhouse, it's Top Dog Credit. You look that up, and I'm there. And if you're on Instagram, it's Top Dog Credit _. But if you're on Facebook, I'm Kevin Reed, and my picture is the same that's on Instagram. So I'm most likely in Uncle Don's room. I'm tired of his room, but I love it.
I have one plug. Okay, so we have 2 events coming up. So one event we have on September 25th, the House Music and Grow House Takeover on the 31st Street Beach. For those of you all that are in Chicago, come out. We're going to have vendors. It's going to be a funky good time. We're going to have some of the women of wealth there and vendors from all over and dispensaries there. And we're going to, not only that, but I'm the hostess with the mostest. And we will be teaching on ancillary, making how to make ancillary money in the industry without having to even touch the plant. So we're going to be teaching you all. We're going to have guest speakers there. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. September 25th, which is next Saturday, from 12 to 11.
Okay. We also have an event coming up, a domestic violence event, October 2nd,
Yes.
out in Dalton. Yes. So thank you. I just want to say thank you. This is so important that we have so many issues in regards to our credit for somebody that may look like me. So for the rest of the month, guys, I'll see you next Friday. And also the following Friday. So right now we're going to keep this going because you kings got something to say and we need to hear it. So thank you everybody for coming out. I would like to thank my guests. I would like to thank my co-host tonight, which is my sister Tracy. Thank you everybody and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Intellectual